This will be a day long remembered. Now I am the master.
Welcome to another episode of Legends and Theories. Happy Halloween, and welcome to a video that I'll be breaking down, honestly, just how messed up Marvel and DC zombies are. And this is talking about the comic versions, not the ones that you would see in the Marvel Zombies show, because that one is just more generic zombies. But I want to talk about how I think that, at least from the zombie-like media I've seen, that the DC and Marvel ones are actually the most screwed up zombie viruses that I personally have experienced. There might be other ones that are worse. I'm not a huge horror fan because honestly it's just not scary to me, so I don't, love checking it out. But I do have fun checking some of these out, and although it's been a while since I've read Marvel Zombies, I think I just looked at it after someone else in my family checked it out of the library, and I don't even own it. I do own all of DCeased, which is the comic series I'll be talking about for DC, since there is Blackest Night, but I think that in terms of zombies, that this is far more messed up than Blackest Night, which was just Black Lantern rings that are taking over people, but they are all resolved in the end, and there's no big impact since it is set in the main DC universe. But let's take a look at just how messed up these are, and I would actually say the DC version is the less messed up one, but the better told one, because, although as I said, it's been a while since I have read the Marvel one. I did just do a little bit of looking up of it online, and it seems that it's supposed to be a more kind of like dark comedic story and isn't going into the horror and the kind of how dark this is. But in concept, the Marvel zombie virus is probably the most messed up zombie virus that could ever exist. And although the DC one is really messed up too, it is kind of for external factors, as you'll see soon. And the main reason that the zombie virus from DCeased, which is the anti-life virus, is so messed up is through the fact that it can be easily cured, and this wasn't realized until basically the end of the first run, and then realized in the sequel where they were quickly able to create a cure, and that makes it just really messed up for the fact that so many people were killed by friends and family, and they have to live with that now, knowing that there actually was a cure and they easily could have got it to them using Cyborg, and the fact that they're all being controlled by a villain. Not only that, that it's really just not really undead, it's more just being corrupted and controlled. And that just makes it so much more devastating. I think this was most clearly shown through Alfred, who in the final one is just devastated by everything that happened because he was forced to kill Batman, Nightwing, and Tim Drake. I don't remember if he was what version of Robin he was. He was Red Robin or something in this universe, but this just devastated Alfred. And after he lost Damian Wayne temporarily to the zombie virus, he was just fully turned into the Spectre because of just how much it affected him after the Spectre was, well, the previous host was killed. And that is honestly just, it's just really devastating to think about how people would have to realize they went and killed people who they looked up to and were close to, thinking it was to save others. And ultimately, it wouldn't have mattered because, with a few exceptions of ones that were far too powerful to remain as zombies because there would be no way for the cure to be made, people like Batman and other people who didn't have insanely high power levels would not have had to be killed and could have been cured. There are a few that they honestly probably would have had to kill because there's no way that anyone could have escaped Earth and a cure could have been made if they were infected. And I think that the main one for that is the Flash. And it was a very important thing in this for them to try and keep all the speedsters from being infected because just how easily they could have infected others if they became a zombie. And all of this is already really messed up with just the implications of what happens after. But the worst thing is how this was all spread, and this was Darkseid experimenting on Cyborg, using him to try and unlock the anti-life equation, instead unleashing this virus, and this virus infected Darkseid, who destroyed Apocalypse. But I believe it was DCeased, who was immune to all diseases, managed to send Cyborg back to Earth, and there the virus began to spread, but instead of spreading like a normal zombie virus, this is probably the most creative and messed up way for it to spread, which was through the internet. And that was since Cyborg immediately connected to the internet when he came in, and this virus was just a really different type of virus. This virus was put onto the internet, so anybody that was connected to the internet would have been instantly infected, and that caused the instant spread of this virus to make it a global catastrophe in just a matter of seconds. And it's honestly surprising that really anybody survived this. There's a few people like Superman realizing and destroying all kind of, internet-based technology. Even Batman did figure it out, but it was just a few seconds too late, and Batman died to Batgirl, Nightwing, and whatever identity Tim Drake had at the time. Again, I don't remember which one it was. And as I said, Alfred was forced to kill them and bury them. And was just really devastated after. But yeah, that's really how messed up the DCeased zombies virus happened with the anti-life equation. And this is one of the few zombie stories that actually have a good ending where the zombie hive mind is defeated and the cure is spread. Even though it is contained to Earth for most of it, in the final one it is spread by the undead Darkseid, and it's spread to other powerful beings, which makes it pretty crazy. But now let's go to the Marvel version, which, I mean, I don't even know how they could have such a dark concept and make it kind of comedic. But I think that, I remember the first run was good. What I've heard is the other runs were pretty bad. But it is just such a dark concept, and I'm just surprised that they did go comedic with it when this probably could have been one of the darkest, if not the darkest, zombie storylines ever. And that is since the Marvel zombie virus, instead of acting like basically any zombie virus would, actually lets the consciousness of the person be there and for them to realize all the horrible things they've done, but only after they went and, killed someone and ate their brains and everything. And I don't think it was fully brains because it just had to be body parts. Since I do remember one of the things is that the undead Hank Pym was using Black Panther to feed off of to keep his mind intact. And yeah, it's just a really messed up thing because there are some truly messed up moments. I remember that Spider-Man killed, I think, both Aunt May and Mary Jane after becoming a zombie, and then had to deal with the moral implications of everything he just did and being devastated by that. But yeah, as you can see, that would be really dark, but I think I want, from what I could tell, really comedic. I don't remember fully how, and I think that is a little disappointing because, as I said, looking at this concept, this is the most screwed up zombie virus to ever exist because people would be forced to go into this like bloodlust when they aren't fed by human or other body parts, and then after they go and feed on it, they have to deal with the horrible things they've done. And for any good person, that is just really a terrible thing. And the other thing is, if they didn't feed, after a while, it would just kind of go back to normal for them. And this is just made even worse in this universe because before that could happen, I believe they eat the Silver Surfer and then Galactus, and then use his power to go and do this to the rest of the universe. And honestly, it is just a messed up concept, but it is just not executed the best. Again, from what I remember, the first one is good, but it's just been so long, and it's just really odd that they went with this kind of more comedic fun tone when this could have been a really messed up story. But yeah, I think that is probably the most messed up virus to exist. Of course, there are some other ones I talked about. A bunch of the Star Wars ones. I believe it was last year. Might have been the year before, but if you want to check that out, I'll put it in the little card up there, so you can check that out. But once again, happy Halloween, and I'll see you on the next episode of Legends and Theories. Thank you for watching this episode of Legends and Theories. Please subscribe, like the video, share the video, leave a comment, check out the video on screen, and may the Force be with you.